Cloudy and faded headlights are not just ugly, they'll make it harder to see at night, which could be straight up dangerous. But what if I told you you could fix them yourself and keep them looking good for up to a year, and all in under 30 minutes for less than 25 bucks and with no special tools required? Well, that's exactly what this kit claims. So today I'm testing out the Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions Headlight Restoration Kit to see if it's a real deal or just another waste of money. Stay tuned to see exactly what kind of results we can get on this Honda Civic here. Here's everything out of the box. You're going to get 2 lens coat wipes here. You're going to get 2 oxidation remover wipes, a double-sided sanding pad, and then some lens polishing compound as well. And then along with that, you're going to get a pair of plastic gloves. And while these are the basics of what you need to restore 2 headlights on your car, I would recommend a couple of additional items, including a bottle of water, which you'll need for the sanding step, masking tape, which you'll need to protect the paint on your car, and then a couple of microfiber towels. In addition to that, maybe a better pair of gloves as well. Step 1 is preparation, and this is a super important step. So as you can see in the background there's soap on the ground. That means I've washed the car, I've let it dry, and now I'm going to tape off all the adjacent painted surfaces. One thing you can do is open the hood so you have less surface to tape over. This step is very important to prevent any kind of damage from any of the other steps. You could use any kind of masking tape here, or you can use automotive specific masking tape, which I'll link in the description below. Just make sure once taped up, follow the same steps on the other side as well. Step 2 is oxidation removal, and you're going to use the oxidation removal wipes to rub back and forth on the headlight. And you're going to do this about a minute or two, and what you're going to notice is the wipe is going to start to turn brown or yellowish. And what you're doing is you're chemically actually removing a layer of the oxidation that's causing that haziness on your light. Now this step won't make it perfect, but it's a good starting step to help the process along. Once you're done the first headlight, make sure you repeat the same step on the second headlight using the second wipe. Wipe all the residue away with a clean, dry microfiber towel, and you're ready to move on to the next step. Now at this step of the process, if your headlights weren't too bad to begin with, and you're kind of happy with how the oxidation removal wipes did, you can move straight to the polishing step. But since my headlights are pretty bad to begin with, I'm moving on to step 3, which is sanding. Now this is the step of the process that's going to do the most amount of work. Here we're going to remove the most amount of that oxidation and yellowing and haziness off your headlights. And what you're going to notice is the kit comes with the sanding pad that is double-sided with a 1 and a 2. We're going to use step number 1 first and a whole bunch of water for lubricity. So go ahead and soak the area and keep it super wet. Then use side number 1, and we're going to go horizontally here in one direction back and forth. And I'm going to continue to sand back and forth like this for approximately about a minute or two, depending on how badly your headlights are oxidated. And as you can see, there's a lot of hazy water starting to come off. We're going to continue to sand and keep the area wet until that starts to turn more white. And you can let it run down the bumper. It's not a big deal. The stuff won't cause any kind of damage. We'll just rinse it away later. Once we get step number 1 done, we're going to spray the area again, and we're going to go up and down this time with step number 2. And this is just going to help level down and smoothen out some of those sanding scratches that we caused in step number 1. Once you're done sanding with step number 2 for a few minutes, dry the area with a microfiber towel, and then we're going to move on to the other headlight and do the exact same steps. If you notice that the tape is starting to lift, you can tape it up again because the water will cause that to happen. On to step number 4, which is polish using the provided compound. Now this step is very important because, as you notice, there's a nice consistent haziness to the headlight that was caused by the sanding step 2. What this is going to do is it's going to help further refine those sanding scratches and eliminate them for the most part, and it's going to add that clarity and gloss back to the headlight. Now this step is extremely important because without this step, you're not going to really get the most clear results with the final step of the process. And just as a reminder, in the previous step there with step number 3, you could skip the sanding if your headlights were pretty clean to begin with and you feel like it's not necessary. But in most cases, step number 3 of the process will be necessary. But here, as you can see, I'm just spreading out a good amount of the compound. I put about a loonie size amount on my microfiber towel, spreading it out, and then I'm going to work it in. And this part's going to take a lot of elbow grease, but it's very important. So work this compound into the headlight for a few minutes until you start to notice that it's starting to get clear. As you may already start to notice with this step, we're starting to bring back a lot of that clarity that you're used to seeing with a nice headlight. And to be honest with you, the longer you spend on this particular step here, I think the better the results are going to be at the end, because this is the major sort of clarifying step of the whole process. And just work that microfiber towel back and forth. They give you plenty of clarifying compounds, so don't be scarce here with the product. Use more of it if you have to, and just continuously rub back and forth or in a circular pattern. And then once you're happy with the results, use another microfiber towel just to kind of remove any of the residue that might be left over. Then finally follow up same exact steps on the other side headlight before moving on to the next step. Now, as we come up to the last step of the process, you might have noticed that the tape kind of fell off on me here. And that's because with all the water and stuff involved with the previous steps, it's pretty much going to be inevitable that this is going to happen. But at this point, you can re-tape up the whole area. But more importantly to that is let the entire area fully dry before moving on to the next step. This is crucial because step number 5 is going to be sealant. And this is going to be the step that's going to add further level of clarity to your headlights. And it's going to seal in the results that you just created for up to a year according to Turtle Wax. So now for this step, because I'm going to choose to not tape up the area again, the only thing I can suggest is be just meticulous with how you do it. And I'm just going to create a border, as you see. But if you do happen to get some of this on your paint, just use a clean, dry microfiber to wipe it away pretty much right away, and you're not going to have any issues with the actual paint itself. But once you kind of box in the whole headlight, then just work in the middle and make sure that by the end of this process, you've swiped over the entire surface of the headlight at least one time, so you have a nice consistent coating. And then after that, you're just going to let the whole thing dry for at least 10 minutes after doing both sides. And then personally, based off of my experience, you're probably better off letting the whole thing dry for about an hour at least, because I found that even after an hour, there's still a little bit of tackiness to it. So the longer you can go, the better. Now, finally, after letting it dry, check out these results. I think these are phenomenal for what we started with, and for the fact that this was $21 US. Took me hardly any time at all. I would say about half an hour to 40 minutes, including all the filming that I had to do. But those results are pretty good. They're not perfect, but they're pretty good. And given the fact that this car is a 2008, several years old, I think we just breathed some new life into it. And check out how good this car looks now compared to what it looked like before. You can get this kit on carzilla.ca, and you can save 5% using discount code CARDetailing5 if you want to save yourself a little bit of money. I'll put the link in the description below so you can go check that out if you want to support the channel. If you like this video, check out this one next that's popping up on your screen of another headlight restoration kit that's pretty good as well. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.